All right, so we're gonna start off with the obvious one. We're going to go ahead with, and by the way, this is the season 2 tier list. So season 2, Overwatch 2026. I guess Overwatch 1, Overwatch 3, Overwatch. I don't know. They removed the 2. Overwatch after removing the 2, season 2. To no one's surprise, Rico gets her own tier. To no one's surprise, best character in the game will forever be the best character in the game. Mega buff, Healbot buff. Holy why? Why do they do that? No one knows. And so, yeah. So Kiriko goes up there. But we're gonna start with the tanks in order. So I had to put them in order, but we're gonna go tank, DPS, and support order. So here are the tanks for season 2 and the tier list for them. So Diva is S tier. Diva didn't get nerfed, didn't get changed. Diva is broken still, and I don't know why they didn't change her. For every single reason last season why Diva was good, she's still good this season. So after that, Reinhardt. Reinhardt is B tier. If we're going based off of average rank experience, Ryan is B tier. If we're going on off of high tier play, like let's say champ and GM, probably C tier or even D tier. But we're going on the averages here. So Reinhardt can be a pub stomper if you play him correctly. However, people don't know how to play with Reinhardt, so it's 50-50. People also don't know how to play against Reinhardt, so it's 50-50. So that's why he's in B tier. Roadhog. I've been playing some Roadhog after his hook nerf, and he feels a lot worse. I can't lie. Like, he still has the one-shot potential, but getting hook every 8 seconds makes it so his neutral is a lot longer, and he can do not as much carry potential. So I think he's in C tier. I still think Roadhog is good for niche, which is kind of what C tier is. C tier is like above is like slightly below average in terms of like my tier list, but it's like also super niche. And so like if there's someone that you need a CC, Roadhog is pretty good. But otherwise, Roadhog is also kind of hurt by Ana getting a nade buff, and Kiriko Suzu is a longer cooldown than nade. So for Roadhog. Let's see. After Roadhog we have Winton. Winton's A tier. There's no like Winton's just a kind of a worse version of Diva, but since Diva's banned a lot and Winston's still pretty solid. Good cleave, good damage, heals himself when he jumps in and out and engages, healing bubble, pretty solid. And his counters, like I said, Roadhog got nerfed pretty hard. And Bastion got nerfed. So I feel like he's pretty solid. Zarya with Vendetta getting hard nerfed, Zarya is not as good as she used to be. So like Zarya herself didn't get changed. Zarya herself can still run lobbies, but since Vendetta got nerfed, Zarya lost some of her value due to Vendetta getting nerfed. So you're going to need to find a different bubble target. Reaper is pretty good, but Reaper isn't the best. And since like the best bubble target in the game can no longer be bubbled in game, her value kind of decreased. So Zarya's A tier. Orisa also A tier. Orisa is an all arounder. Like she has CC, she has good space taking potential, she can bully other tanks. Like I said, Zarya got a little bit worse with Vendetta getting nerfed, so Orisa can have a little bit more power against Zarya since Zarya has like not as good bubble targets anymore. And yeah, so Orisa's pretty solid. Let's see. Next is Doomfist. Doomfist is B tier. Doomfist is you carry the lobby, you throw the lobby. No between. The highest skill ceiling Doomfist could be in Kiriko tier. The lowest skill floors Doomfist can be in F tier. So just depends who's playing the character and how good they are at the character. This character has like an infinite skill ceiling in terms of like how much carry potential you have on the character, but just for average reasons, we'll put it at B. All for the same reason. Same reason. And also Ball just has insane survivability. Unless you're going some fuck ass comp just to only CC the Ball, which then the Ball is still getting a lot of value by taking every single cooldown known to man. And since Sombra got hard nerfed, character is also better. Sigma's in B tier. His one of his perks that allow him to keep regaining his shield when shooting at even shields and at May walls and walls in general, that got nerfed. You have to be hitting directs on heroes now to get your shield health back. So it's a pretty big nerf. Someone who plays a lot of Sigma, pretty big nerf. So he's still good, but like he's in lower tier now because he doesn't mitigate as much damage as he used to. That and Ram is really good, which I think segues into my next one. Is Ram is in S tier now. Ram got Giga buffed. Pretty good buffs. He can also throw his stun midair. It's part of his base kit now. He's just really, really good. He's like the best brawl-ish character to play currently. Since Zarya's not as good, Ram's the one to pick. And since Ram is really good, Sigma's not as good. Maga is A tier. I actually don't know why Maga is A tier, other than I've been playing against a lot of Maga, and Maga is fucking annoying. Like, I've also been hearing some talk from pro players and from collegiate players that Maga is also really, really good right now. And he just doesn't die, and he does a lot of damage, and I don't know why. I don't know why. He was like D tier last season, but somehow this season he's an A tier. I don't know what changed, but he got a lot more annoying. Don't know what it is. I think it's because of the bruiser buff they gave all bruiser tanks to where they move 50% faster at half HP. So I'm thinking because they buffed the bruiser perk mid-season last season, I think he's a lot stronger now. But he's annoying. He's not fun to play against. And since Diva's banned a lot, he kind of does whatever he wants. And since Sigma got nerfed, he can kind of do whatever he wants. He just doesn't die. Junker Queen is the worst tank in the game. Yeah, I don't know. Someone who plays on a Junker Queen, it pains me to put a Junker Queen this low, but the Fs are reserved for the worst in the role. So Junker Queen is the worst tank in the by far. I would actually put Junker Queen in D tier because you can still get value on JQ, but the F is the worst in the role, and it makes me sad. I love Junker Queen. Hazard is A tier. They gave him a buff mid-season to where he's part of the initiator role. So he heals himself on engages and disengages, and he has one of the most lethality killing potentials of all time on any tank ever besides Roadhog. So, and since Diva's always banned, Hazard's picked for dive with Winston. It just depends if you're Korean or if you're in Europe. If you're Korean, you pick Winston. If you're not, you pick Hazard, because Americans and EU people can't play Winston apparently. So is that. And then for Miss Domina, she's in B tier. She is a hybrid of brawl and a hybrid of brawl and poke. Her kit's based around a lot of brawling, so you kind of want to get up and close with her. But a lot of the other brawl tanks are just better right now. Like, if you're going to poke, you might as well play Sig. If you're going to brawl, you might as well just play Ram or Orisa. But she still gets a lot of value. I think like the weakest part of Domina is her ultimate. Her ultimate, since people finally know how to counter her ultimate's pretty weak. And the reason she's still picked is because she survives a long time and she does a lot of damage. But other than that, you kind of just walk past her and ignore her, kind of like a Bastion. Like an old Bastion turret. Like, she can't really do very much until she gets her second perk. Then she can push you back into her shield. But that's very late game scaling, so take it how you want. And I don't think I missed any tanks. Nope. So this is your tank tier list for season 2. Poor Junker Queen. Very sad. Anyway, moving on to DPS. We're going to rapid fire these because there's a lot of DPS. So first of all, we're going to go ahead and put Sojourn, Emery, and Tracer all in S tier. Sojourn, highest carry potential in the game. Tracer is annoying as fuck and is the best flex DPS in the game. Emery consistently shits out the most damage more than any character in the game. If your goal is to do damage, don't pick Bastion, pick Emre. You will do more damage on Emre than Bastion. Anyway, so there's that. And then there's a lot of A tier DPS. I think a lot of DPS are pretty good in A tier and B tier. I think hit scan is really strong this season. Like, I think you could pretty much pick any hit scan character and get value on them. Like, besides like the flex hit scans like Hanzo and Freya. But any hit scan's a good pick. Cast, really good. Silver Bullet, super strong. If you're not using Cast with Silver Bullet, you're tossing. Also hard CCs are awesome. The Genji, I think is no, hold on, my bad. I don't think Genji's A tier. I was thinking about it and I declined my statement, or I pulled back my statement. Let's see. Reaper, I think is an A tier. Reaper getting his dire triggers as part of his base kit is really, really strong for the character. And Zarya, and this is the best bubble target for Zarya. So Zarya Reaper comps are pretty good. And Reaper counters Winston, counters Hazard, counters Orisa to an extent, and can melt Ramattra. So overall solid pick. Let's see. Bastion. Actually, no. Echo is another A tier. I think Echo is the most slept on DPS in the entire game. I think if you're good enough to play Echo if Tracer's banned. Like, Echo is the second best flex character in the game. I feel like people don't use her enough or utilize her enough. And she got a pretty massive buff into where she can copy friendlies now. So I don't know. I think Echo was probably the hardest or second hardest DPS to play. So if you want to learn Echo, now's the time to do it, when she's like probably at her peak power level in a very long time. And then this might be a hot take. I think Onron is an A tier. Onron lives forever. They gave it to where her healing perk is now in her base kit. And if you play Onron correctly, she lives forever. She literally just lives forever. And she does not have a lot of lethality, but she's basically like a mini wrecking ball, where she just lives forever and pulls out so many resources. So most of your value is not from lethality, but just annoying everybody to the point of being exhausted with dealing with you. And not to mention, when you're in late game scaling, that she gets the perk to where every time she tags someone with her rush, she gets her next rush faster. You can keep rush E, rush E, and just like people can't shoot you. It's annoying. Anyway, that's like my hot take. I've seen also a lot of Onron bans. She's not fun to play against. And then there's a lot of DPS in B tier, and I'm just going to put them all in B tier and then explain why. So Bastion's in B tier, Genji's in B tier, Hanzo's in B tier, Pharah's in B tier, Soldier is in B tier, Torbjorn's in B tier, Widow's in B tier, Ashe is in B tier, Venture's in B tier, Freya's in B tier, and the newest character, Sierra's in B tier. Which could be a hot take about Sierra, but I'll explain why. So, all these DPS are in B tier. Bastion got nerfed, not in A tier anymore. Still really good, consistent damage, burst downs, tanks. Really annoying to play against. I fucking hate Bastion. Genji, since these three flex DPS I think are better than Genji in terms of the value that they get, I think Genji's lost a little bit of his luster. However, he's still really good. Like, if you want to play Genji, he's still a good pick. Like, I really don't see like there's any bad instance to play Genji other than you're playing into like 3 hard counters. Hanzo one-shots are always valuable. Pharah got Giga buffed. You can one-shot into Pharah now. I hate Pharah. Soldier is consistent damage. Just don't play, like, there's just no reason to play Soldier for Emre, but if you like playing Soldier, play Soldier. Any hit scan's good right now. Torbjorn is like Reaper, but worse. One-shot potential. Lots of damage potential. Runs lobbies if not checked. Annoying as shit. And then if you're going with Sierra's not any higher because there's no reason to play Sierra over these two either. Like, her auto tracking missile is annoying and does melt. But you know who also melts? Sojourn. You literally just one shot railgun people. So yeah, tracking dart annoying. One shot rail also annoying. So yeah, like she's really good, but like I really feel like her value is undercutted by the fact that these two exist. But she's pretty good though. But that might be like another one of my burning hot takes. Junkrat C tier. Junkrat, I don't know. There's like Junkrat's playable on certain maps and certain chokes, so he's pretty niche, which is what the C tier is for. And the same thing with Mei, same thing with Sim. Yeah, like these characters are pretty niche and are good on playing on certain maps or on certain choke points, but like I really wouldn't play these characters the entirety of the game that you're playing them on. Vendetta got giga nerfed. D tier. Don't play Vendetta anymore. If I see you lock Vendetta in my games, I'm reporting you for terrorism. And then Sombra is F tier. They I don't know why, but they destroyed Sombra. Like the only reason you would ever play Sombra, and I mean ever play Sombra, is to counter Wrecking Ball, and then even then it's a stretch. So rest in peace Sombra mains. And that's my DPS tier list after the tanks. And is there any other DPS I missed? Nope. And now it's next to the supports. So we already mentioned Kiriko. Kiriko is the best character in the entire game, not even the best support. I fucking hate Kiriko. Lucio is the other S tier support. Speed is always a valuable, super valuable utility to have. I know what the recent nerfs to mobility did with certain characters like Juno and with Wu Ying. They're trying to slow the game down a bit, which is probably why speed is even more valuable with Lucio, because he's the only character I think that can play and enable the team fast enough to play at the level that it used to be, because a lot of things got slowed down. So yeah, so Lucio is S tier. This could be a hot take, could be a cold take. I don't know. I've been seeing a lot of people say Brig is an S tier now because Brig Kiriko is a really good comp. However, I feel like a lot of people who play Brig don't know how to play Brig. So I'm putting her in A tier, high A tier, because people need to learn how to play Brig correctly. Once you have a good Brig player who can play her correctly like she's supposed to, she is definitely an S tier with Brig Kiriko or with Brig Juno. But I don't know. I've been playing with a lot of Brigs in GM, and they don't know how to play Brig, and it feels terrible to play with them. They are a pack bot. They don't brawl. They don't proc. They're inspire. They throw packs and throw whip shots, and then jerk it in the corner, praying that things die. So I'll put her in A tier because she's really, really good. But you know, and let's see. And then I think Juno is an A tier. Like I said, speed is a very, very, very valuable resource. And if Lucio's banned, pick Juno. Brig is really good. Like I said, so Brig Juno comps are viable again. So yeah, Juno's good. Ana got her nade buffed. Ana can now throw nades faster than Kiriko could throw Suzu's, which is good. Not to mention that a lot of the tanks that are good now get countered by Ana, like Ramatra, Hazard, and she also keeps Maga in check, and Roadhog is no longer playable anymore because of Ana, which is good. And Speed Boost Nano is really good for Emre. Like Nano boosted Emre is insanely overpowered. Nano Clock is still really good. Then any of these tanks that are in the A tier above are giga powered with a nano, so Ana's just good, and you can also headshot as Ana. But that's all the A tier supports, I'm pretty sure. Which sucks. There's not really there's only like 5 like really good supports, but it is what it is. All right, we got BAP, which is the worst Kiriko. Like, there's no reason to play BAP unless you're having a risk on your team. But Kiriko over BAP any day of the week. They do the same exact thing. You have an invulnerability ability, you do a lot of damage, you have a lot of healing. Kiriko has better mobility, a better invulnerability ability, and a better ultimate. So, literally, BAP is great value Kiriko. Rest in peace, BAP players. Illari is really, really good in terms of you can carry with Illari, but at the same time, if you're not carrying with Illari in terms of killing potential, then you're throwing the game, which is why she's in B tier. Mizuki, I am biased. According to my definition, Mizuki should be in C tier because Mizuki is one of those characters that is niche where you're going to play him to stun stuff or to chain things. Or if another CC character is banned, like Cassidy is banned, you go Mizuki. However, I got the GM, basically one-tricking Mizuki, and he's fun and he's really good if you play him correct. So, my bias is showing I want him in B tier. Then we get to the flunkies. Wu Yang's in C tier. His mobility got nerfed. He still has high damage, but he gets dove a lot easier. He's not as good. It sucks, but it is what it is. The cat is not great. During mid-season last season, they kind of nerfed a lot of things about cat. So basically, the reason you'd play cat is for immediate high ground control. By teleporting your tank to a high ground and then trying to play that high ground, but that's about it. Cat's not very good. Ultimate's not very good. People finally figure out how to counter the ultimate. Tiara can just track the cat out of the air and blow him up. And then we're getting even further down the line. Moira's in D tier. Moira, not very good. Who would have thought having no utility wouldn't be very good? Crazy. Life Weaver is no longer the worst support in the game because he has cleanse on pull. Other than that, he's the second worst support in the game though. Zenyatta is still better than Life Weaver. Discord Orb is value. Damage boost is always really good. Zenyatta has a lot of killing potential. He's a sitting duck, glass cannon character. But he still gets his own value. But again, Kiriko can do the same amount of damage as Zen for more value, I think, at least. And the crown of the worst support goes to Mercy. I still hate this character. I still hate damage boost, but I cannot deny the character getting the movement nerfed and having a bug with her guardian angel makes her absolutely the worst character in the game. In terms of like, well, the worst support in the game. The worst character in the game is Sombra, but Mercy's cutting it close. I would say hearts out to all the Mercy mains, but I hate the character, so Rip Bozo. Anyway, so that's my tier list for season 1. Here it goes up here, but yeah, here's the full screen. And I hope you guys have a happy season, and thank you for watching.